Hey there guys, it's Anthony here at Cutting Edge Guitar, and in today's video I'm going to be talking to you about how to choose the right scale for your soloing options every single time. Let's get right into it. Okay guys, first things first, I'd just like to ask you to smash the like button if you're enjoying that video. Do subscribe to the channel just to make sure that you see all of my lessons and other content when it comes out. And do share it to any of your friends that you think my tuition might benefit. Okay, so let's get right into this. How do you choose the right scale every single time? Well, this is quite a difficult and deep subject. I'm going to try and get into it as quick as I possibly can for you. So first things first, you are going to have to put, if you are one of those guitar players who's like, I don't want to learn theory, I don't want to know stuff about scales, you're going to have to put that stuff to one side, because you can't choose the right scale for your soloing options every single time unless you know a little bit of theory. Right, what we're going to do here, we're going to talk about the essential scale options per chord type that we see in pretty much all modern music. So in most modern music, there are 6 main chord types that you're always going to see. They're not the only ones, of course, but they are their main chord types, okay? And what we're just going to talk about is the options for learning them on your guitar neck. So we are effectively going to encounter major 7 chords, minor 7 chords, dominant 7th chords, minor 7 flat 5 chords, altered dominant chords, and diminished 7th chords. Let's go back to our major 7. So, how you determine what scale that you should be using over each one? Well, there are so many scales out there, it's actually ridiculous how many different scale types you could possibly use. But when you're playing through changes and stuff like that, what you want to do is just have a couple of options in your disposal, just so that you can very, very quickly go to each one. So, let's break down each chord type and talk about the options that you've really got available to you. So on a major 7 chord, a major 7 is a root, 3rd, 5th, major 7, and that's they're the chord tones or the arpeggio of that chord. When you encounter that kind of chord, the 2 options that you have available to you realistically are either the major scale or the Lydian mode. In terms of formula, there's only one note difference between major scale and Lydian, and that is that Lydian has a raised 4th. A major scale is an unaltered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, and Lydian is 1, 2, 3, sharp 4, 5, 6, 7, back to 1. Now, generally speaking, it's widely accepted that that 4th interval is a bit of a clash on a major 7 chord. Sounds a little bit clumsy. In jazz, it's actually regarded as an avoid tone, so that's why most people would plump for the Lydian mode. I think, though, to be fair, you can't completely discount the major scale. It's just that you need to treat that 4th carefully. Okay, next, minor 7. Generally speaking, we've got 2 options over this chord. So the 2 options that you've got would be either the Aeolian mode or the Dorian mode. The difference between the 2 is that the Aeolian has a flat 6 and your Dorian has a major 6. We're talking about intervals here, okay? So you have to decide as the soloist which part of your audience you want to lean on. Do you want to lean on the people who are going a bit more melancholic with that flat 6, or do you want to lean on the more major happy side? When you're playing with the Dorian mode, Dorian does tend to work really, really well in jazzy, fusion-y contexts. It also works really great in rock. It's sort of got a hybrid feel about it because you've got the minor 3rd and the major 6, which is a really nice thing to have in your arsenal. Okay, let's talk about dominant 7th chords. So on our dominant 7th chord, again, you've got really two options with this. The Mixolydian mode, or the Lydian dominant mode, which is mode 4 in melodic minor. So the difference between Mixolydian and Lydian dominant is that the Lydian dominant has a sharp 4. So we'd have root 2, 3, sharp 4, 5, 6, flat 7. And that works really well for adding that little bit of funk, that little bit of spice onto your standard Mixolydian, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, flat 7. Okay, minor 7 flat 5 chords. Generally speaking, there's a couple of different options on this. You could use the Locrian mode, which is mode 7 of your major scale. So 1, flat 2, flat 3, 4, flat 5, flat 6, flat 7. You could also use the second mode of the harmonic minor scale, which would be Locrian with a natural 6. So it's the same as our normal Locrian, 1, flat 2, flat 3, 4, flat 5. But what we would do is raise that 6. And you can also use mode 6 of your melodic minor. So that is something that we call Aeolian flat 5. 1, 2, flat 3, 4, flat 5, flat 6, flat 7. They all have their place and they'll work in different contexts. Generally speaking, I think the easiest thing to do with your minor 7 flat 5 chords is to talk about just using the Locrian. Because that's where, you know, that from the major scale modes, that's what everyone knows. Now up to this point, guys, we've talked about major 7, minor 7, dominant 7, and minor 7 flat 5 with a few different options, but effectively those 4 chord types are the ones that live within a major scale. So if you can get hold of playing over those, you're going to be able to tackle a lot of different musical styles. What I'm going to do for this video, I'm going to carry on talking about the other 2 chord types over at the members area at Cutting Edge Guitar. So if you want to have a listen to what I'm talking about with the dominant 7 altered chords and diminished 7th chords, hop over to Cutting Edge Guitar. The links are all in the description where you'll see the rest of this video. If you're not going to come over and join us there, I hope you'll join me for my next YouTube video. So do give this a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Take care.